An author or creator of a work owns the copyright unless there's some specific agreement to the contrary. And if multiple people contribute to the creation of a creative work, then they all collectively own the copyright. At UOIT, the authors own the copyright unless the university has specifically commissioned the work. For example, we give grants from our Teaching Innovation Fund to fund professors to create certain materials, and in that case the university owns the copyright on what they create. Now the authors own the copyright, but the university retains the right to use for research and teaching, even if the university hasn't funded the work and it's being done independently. Students working on research projects along with professors have exactly the same rights to intellectual property, including copyright, as the professors do under UOIT's policies. And this can lead to some tricky situations. A typical example is a professor will hire a student to write some software for the prof. And all the ideas may be coming from the prof. The prof knows exactly what he wants done, and what the student is doing is seen to be completely routine and not particularly imaginative or creative. And so the professor might assume that they still own all the copyright in the product. Well, it turns out that under Canadian copyright law, there's no such test for creativity. And it's the person who actually fixes the material in electronic form, who writes the code, who owns the copyright. And this can lead to situations where, when there's a number of people working on a program, that the copyright ownership vests in 3, 4, 5, 6 individuals. And it's a particular problem because under Canadian law, the right to license can't be used by individual copyright owners. It has to be used collectively by all the copyright owners. And so this consent can be a real nuisance to try and obtain when there are a whole bunch of distributed owners of the copyright. So it's a good idea, especially when it's a work for hire situation and not, you know, a student working on a thesis or something like that, but when it's clear that they're doing work for hire, that an agreement be put in place in advance which specifies who's going to own the copyright, whether it's the advisor or whether it's the university or whichever is most appropriate.